Thank you for joining me on another episode of Try DIY with Ebony. Join me as I use clearance tiles to transform a boring plain mirror into a glamorous closet upgrade. Hey guys, I'm back with another clearance tile project. I was able to pick up these beauties from Home Depot in the clearance aisle. They were $1.76 each. These are glass tiles. They are pretty heavy. This one is called Geode Brick Mosaic Tile, and I am going to do another project. I ran out of mirrors in my house to do, like the builder grade bathroom mirrors in my house to do. So now I am going to do another mirror because I need a mirror in my closet. I bought one of those cheap $7 mirrors from, I think it was Walmart. The thing about these mirrors is they are flexible, so it's not really, I don't think they're really mirror. I don't know, maybe they are, because they do break like mirror. What I'm gonna do, I am going to add this beautiful tile around the edge and put this on the back of my closet door. So let's see how this is gonna work. So the first thing I have to do, what I showed you before in my first video, I'm gonna bust this open. Of course, you need a utility knife. And when I'm cutting, I keep it on the cardboard that this came with. But as you can see, the tiles have like this netting on the back, and it helps to keep the tiles together if you were actually using the whole piece. So what I do is I'm gonna get a different utility knife, one that's longer, because I want it to come all the way out like that. So I get that utility knife and I go right in between and just cut that netting, just like that. So I'm gonna go through, cut each one. I learned a few tricks from the first time I tried this, and I'll show you as I move along. Okay, so let's move these out of the way. And now I'm gonna cut the smaller piece. In my original video, I did not do the part I'm about to show you, but I think it's important to do this now. I did cut off the excess pieces here. So it's a little jagged there, and I don't want any of that to show. So I use my scissors to go ahead and just cut that overhang off. Okay, but then what I did, I cut about half of this, cut it right down the middle. I'm gonna use a different one that I have more control over. And watch those thumbs back there. You don't want to accidentally hit your thumb with your utility knife. I cut about half off, and then I peel this netting off. And I do this because you can see the netting in the mirror. I'll show you what I mean in just a second. So I go ahead and just peel that off, half of the netting. You realistically could peel the whole thing off, but I think leaving a little bit on there makes the adhesion better. So let me show you the reason I did that. When I put it down like this, if you look down into the mirror, you can see that netting the way the tile is on the mirror. But if I have that netting off and flip it, you won't be able to see that. Now that's a very small detail, but for somebody that is a perfectionist, I needed to have that off. Oh, and I just noticed with these, so let me tell you, be careful. I just noticed with these that when I did cut that line, it cut into the actual tile. So you want to be careful with whatever materials you're using so that it doesn't mess up the actual tile itself. So now I know that I have to be a little, I don't have to go as deep when I'm cutting this. So that's good to know. So now what I'm gonna do is play my little Tetris game. I don't know the size of this mirror, but I'm going to arrange all of the pieces on before I use the actual adhesive to lay them down. Just gonna line these up. These are the ones that I didn't cut yet. So I'll go ahead and just set these on here to see how many I'm gonna need. You need to open another pack. So that was, this is $1.76, this is $1.76. And I think the mirror was maybe $7. So let me do the same thing and cut this. I've already used these in a client's home for their bathroom mirror, and it was amazing. Okay, so that looks great already. Look at that. You see those edges right up in there? That's what we don't want to show. Now, where's that one? Okay, so that's the one that doesn't have it. This one right here is the one that doesn't have it. And like I said, that's a minor detail, but it just makes it look better. It doesn't, yeah, that's all I can say. It makes it look better. So if you're gonna try this, I would definitely recommend that you cut those pieces off, and I'll show you how I do that. So this is the full mirror. That's how it's gonna look in my closet, baby. Looks much better than that other frame. Okay, I just decided on another change as I'm working on this that I think will just make it all around easier. It's really no point in having this on here at all. So I'm gonna go ahead and just peel the whole thing off and not worry about it showing through, and not worry about damaging the glass tile. So now I'll go and pull all of these off. I guess it's still useful if you decided to keep them like in doubles like this, and you can just go ahead and put it down as is. But I think since I did my dry fitting, and these are pretty straightforward. These aren't like the small ones, like the first ones I did. So I'm gonna go ahead and just take the whole netting off, and there's enough surface area to add the adhesive right here, and then just put it down. So I'm going through and pulling these off on each one. And it's pretty easy to pull off. Okay, I'm gonna put it back in place once I pull them off, because I don't wanna mess up my placement. One thing I am going to do is wipe the mirror down with alcohol, just to get a nice clean surface before I put down the actual tiles and glue. So there we go. Yeah, this is a lot easier than trying to keep it on. Just for this particular design though, because some of the other ones that I've done, this netting was actually very helpful with spacing and adhesion. I couldn't find an alcohol swab, so I'm just going to use some disinfectant wipes just to clean off this surface. This mirror has been sitting in my garage for quite some time, so it could use a good cleaning. And I'll go back with window cleaner, but I want to get some of this sawdust and stuff off, just these top particles, so it doesn't affect the adhesion. And this time, what's different from my first video is that I've decided to use a different adhesive. I am going to use this Loctite Ultimate Grab, and what I like about this, it's very thick. So if you were to do your mirror, your bathroom mirror while it's still hanging up, which is the way I did the one for my client, you want something thicker than the E6000. So this is very thick. It has a strong grab, just like they say. It says 0-second instant grab, and that's true. So I'll show you what I did for the mirror that was still up in the bathroom, because sometimes those builder grade mirrors are hard to come off without breaking them, or most people don't know how to take them off. They have this in a smaller container too. Do want to say that, because you need to use a caulk gun with this one, but they do have one. Actually, I have it here. Ugh. See, they had this one in a smaller container. It's the exact same stuff, but just a different container. And I'll show you how thick it is when it comes out. Okay, so as you may or may not know, this little hole is here to cut the top piece off. There's a little blade in there. It's here to cut the top piece off of your caulk or your adhesive or whatever. I'm using a very small, making a very small cut there. Hopefully that's big enough. Let me try it again. Okay. Okay, I think that's good. I'm trying to get the angled part facing down. So I'm gonna do 2 at a time. And what I'm doing, you see how thick this is coming out? It's almost like a like hair gel. That's what it's like. It's like hair gel. You want to get a good amount on there. With this mirror, I don't necessarily need to put anything in this middle part because it kind of dips down. And I'm trying to make sure I'm not getting too much glue over here because I don't want that to show in the reflection. Okay. So I have a good amount on here right now. Place this on and I'm pressing it down. That immediate grab is so very true. You can still maneuver it and move it, but it does stick pretty quickly. So I'm gonna move pretty fast down this line as I'm putting the pieces on. So I'm gonna try to do 2 at a time. And I'm putting a nice generous amount on at least that one side. I have needed a mirror in my closet for so long. So this is going to really come in handy and be nice and pretty at the same time. Okay. These aren't perfect right now because like I said, I'm going to be able to move them a bit and then I'll let them set once I get them exactly where I need them to be. Okay, I'm rounding this corner, doing the same thing. I'm getting a little grown and trying to do 3 at a time now. I don't think it'll be an issue. And actually, maybe you could do like 1 whole side at a time, but I wouldn't recommend that if it's like your first time trying this, just so that you don't mess up. Just take your time. There's no rush. Well, there is kind of a rush because you don't want these here to set until you've gone back and put them exactly where you want them to be. So you don't want to take too much time. You just want to make sure that you're placing them correctly. Okay. My hands are shaking, so you can hold it with 2 hands to steady it if you're like me. I had a strong cup of coffee today. And these are just laying on like bricks. Like this is like cement or something, the way it's just going on so smoothly. I really like this glue. And it's perfect, like I said, for if you are doing the tiles on a mirror that is already hanging. It's perfect for that because it's not very liquidy. It's so very thick. Hopefully this time you guys can see all the details. I did get a lot of feedback from my other video, and some people said they weren't able to see the detail of the tile that I was using. But it was glass tile just like this, and pretty much doing the same thing. But I took my builder grade bathroom vanity mirrors and did the same thing. Okay, so I am now done with the gluing portion. And it's a little coming out the top. And we're gonna go back and fix that. Okay, so here we go. Now I'm gonna start with where I began, and it's still, see, you can still move it, but it's definitely on there. So that grab is grabbing. So now what I'm going to do is move these around so that they are aligned neatly and not looking too crazy. So spacing not too far off. Okay, so this is my guide. So the rest of these I want to line up with these first ones. So you're going to go in and just make some adjustments on where your pieces are. And I'm leaving about I guess about 1/8 of an inch space between each tile, just in case I need to use that space to make everything fit. And what you could do to make sure that this is straight, you could use a level, you can use any kind of straight edge just to bump it up against it to make sure that it's straight. And this would be important for the ones on the wall that you're doing in place, just to make sure that they're level and lined up. I'm gonna do the same thing on both sides, making sure everything is lined up. So now I'm gonna let this sit. I'm actually thinking about putting some painter's tape on here just to help it set exactly where I want it to be. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna grab my painter's tape. And for each one, I'm pressing down, and then I'm gonna let the tape just sit like that so that it helps it to cure. You could also use if you're on a different surface, if you have a surface that would allow all the pieces to kind of hang freely, you could put clamps on them, and that would really help to hold things down. I found these awesome clamps at the dollar store a while back. They may still have them, but this looks like it'll work great holding the pieces of the tile onto the mirror while it dries. It might be a little too thin. This is how wide the mouth opens. Oh man, it's a little too small, but these are pretty cool and can be used for so many different things. So I have my other minis, and I know these will fit for sure. So I'm gonna just clamp these onto the ends. And that's gonna help that glue stick into place better. I decided to use this Scotch Mount Extreme to hang my mirror. It's definitely a little heavier with these glass tiles on them. So I'm gonna put this on the back of my mirror. And here it is currently. I'm in my closet. But here's the back of the mirror. So I'm gonna put that on the back. And then I will show you how it looks hung up. And so this says that it can hold up to 30 pounds. I'm pretty sure this new mirror is not 30 pounds. Using my scissors, I cut pieces of the tape into small segments and began to place it around the mirror. And it's just like double-sided tape, but I guess it's super, super double-sided tape. Look how pretty that is. Oh my gosh. Now the only problem I have with this is that it's small. It's thin, it's narrow. I would actually like a bigger mirror, but this will work for now. And for a total of what? The mirror was $7 at Walmart, but I already had it, so I'm not counting it in my total. But the mirror was $7, and I used 1.5 packs of the $1.76 tiles. So I would say for under $10, I'm getting a pretty awesome mirror. Okay, so I have all the double-sided backing off on here. I want to grab it where there's no double-sided backing, and I'm going to hang it up. Let's see. I'm making sure I get it on the door surface. Yeah, that's gonna work perfectly. Ooh. Isn't that awesome, y'all? Look at this. So if we get up close on it, you can see what I was saying about making sure that the reflection is clean. There's no glue, there's no netting on here. So it really just brings the project up a notch so that it doesn't look like, you know, you just slap some tiles onto a mirror. It's really clean and pretty awesome.